Very good morning to everyone. As part of our C# learning journey, today we are going to learn about unconditional branching statements. There are two statements in C# for unconditional branching, as we have the same two statement in other programming language as well, like Python, C, C++, everywhere we can find these two unconditional statements. Okay, for what they are used, right? So with respect to break, we already know the break is used in switch statement to break a case, right? Now to come out from a case, we use that after executing a block of statement in a case. To come out from that switch, we use break, right? That is how we know about break. But the break is also used in break is also used to abort any loop in which it is called, right? Again, break will abort the loop in which it is called. See, if you have loop inside a loop, right? So when you call break inside inner loop, only that loop will break. It doesn't mean that break will break all the loop, all loops in which it is right now. So you have to understand that, right? With respect to continue, this statement will jump to the next iteration. Right now, the moment it is called, it come to the next iteration of the loop, right? So that is the use of continue statement. So one is used to abort the loop, another one is to jump to the next iteration, right? So we are going to understand how to use these two unconditional statement in programming right now using a problem statement. We have a problem statement here. The problem statement is create arrays of 10 different vehicle speed sample. Those are greater than 50 km per hour and less than 250 km per hour. So this is the range. So it should be in between 50 and 250, right? So, and ignore the speed sample values in between 100 and 120. When you generate speed samples, it should not be in the range 100 to 120. If you get that, if your random generator generate that, you simply ignore that. You don't store it, right? You don't use it as a lookup value, right? Then also you stop the generation if generated sample is greater than 200. So as they asked us to generate 10 different vehicle speed, obviously we use a random module that we have as part of a system library. So to generate a random number, right? We have to generate a random number in between the range 50 and 250. After we get some random number, we have to check whether that number is in between 100 and 120. If it is so, we have to continue. That means we have to regenerate the sample again. So for that, we can use continue. If not, we have to check then another condition. The condition is whether the sample generated is greater than 200. If it is so, we have to break the loop. So that is the program that we have to do. Let me demonstrate that in the programming, right? For that, I need a notepad plus and then a command prompt. Let me bring them now. So here is a command prompt. I already in my working directory, right? Let me create a file first. Notepad speed gen with condition, right? Speed gen with condition. That is the file name, and we have CS extension. So now we have a file here, right? Now I have to write program now. So as I am going to use random module, also we use other system function. I am using library system, right? Right. After that, I have to create a class with the name of C# file, class speed gen with condition, right? Then I open an in bracket, then static void main of, that is my main function. So it is not going to have any argument, right? This is the base boilerplate code. From here, as I am going to generate a 10 different sample, I need an array. To create array in C#, I have to use a data type. Why I'm using byte? Because the vehicle speed is going to be in between 0 to 250. So using single byte is enough to store vehicle speed. That's why I choose byte. Then VS is the array name. So I have to say, as it is in array, I have to say it is an array, right? Then we have to allocate the memory for those 10 different bytes. For that, new bytes of 10. Right. So this is how we have to declare an array of bytes, not only bytes, any data type. This is the syntax to declare an array in C#. Right. After declaring it, I also declare a sample called bytes variable. I also declare an variable, byte variable. Right. I call that a sample. I assign initial value 0 to that. And then as I have to generate 10 different sample, I am running a loop for int rider is equal to 0, rider less than 10, then rider plus plus, right. After that, right, then I have to generate a random number. To generate a random number, I require I require a random number generator. For that, random R and D is equivalent to new random. This is the, okay. So here I declare a random number generator. So after that, I have to generate a number. For that, sample is equivalent to R and D, that is the instant name dot next, and then value, the range in which I have to generate 50 to 250. Right now, that is what problem statement. Right now, right, 50 km per hour and 250 km per hour, I generated that. So after generating it, I have to check the sample. If sample is greater than or equal to 100 and sample is less than or equal to 120, if that condition is true, I want to continue. That means I want to regenerate the sample right now. So then the program counter, that means program control, will transfer here and will generate the sample again. So if it is not so, then I will check in another condition. If sample is greater than 200, right, then you simply break. Right, this is the thing. So as of now, I just comment this in order to understand our continue statement works fine. So I just comment those two lines, and then if the condition is satisfied, if the number is not in between 100 and 120, but in between 250 and 250, then I want to store that in VS of rider is equivalent to sample. So that vehicle speed array will get the sample, right? So like that, it will do a 10 different sample generation. Right. After that, I want to print the sample. For that, I want to use for each byte s in, maybe I have to use a byte s in VS. Right. This is a syntax for each. Then I want to print that console dot write line. Right. Then I am using an indexing component to print speed. Right. VS of rider, VS, sorry. Yes. So all samples in that will be printed. right now. So that's all. The program is ready. So let me check the program now. Save that and then, so I have to compile it. CSC speed gen with condition.cs. Okay, it says it is showing some error in line number 8. Line number 8. Okay. So there is a syntax error. So another syntax error where it is 13, line number 13. So because the random number will generate a random number, I have to do a typecasting. This is a syntax to typecast. Right. The file is compiled now. Exe is generated. Let me run it now. Speed gen with condition. Okay, so I am getting sample, but I am getting 0. I should not get 0 right now. 20, 22, 81, 77, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's very strange. 57, 81, 64, all these things are okay, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is the condition here, right? If it is greater than 100, less than 1. Let me run it again, but I don't know. You know, all variables are greater than 50 and less than 250. So it is in that range, but I don't know why here alone we get 0. So let me run it. Okay, sometimes it generates 0. When it generates 0, it fails. So let us have a condition. And sample equal to 0, but I don't know if this is not required, but I'm not sure why it is not generating random number in between. Right, we also continue that, Control S. Then let me run now. Let me compile it. And then, so now, maybe let me investigate why, when even though we specify the range, why it is generate a 0 sample, that I can investigate. But now it is working. So even if it is 0, we go for continue and we regenerate it. So it is within that range. Now let us remove this comment. And compile it again. So it is compiled. So we are going to run it now. So after 4 samples, we get a sample which is greater than 200. Because of that, there is an abortion of loop. Because of that, rest of these samples become 0 in our array. Right. That's all. Okay, now this is how we have to use break and continue in looping statement. Right. For unconditional branching. Okay, team. That's all for today. Let me catch you with more detail in upcoming session. Thank you. Thank you for watching.